You know, when you hear the word recovery, what pops into your head? Probably some elite athlete, right? Pushing their body to the absolute limit. But what if this science of how they bounce back is just as crucial for getting through a stressful week at the office as it is for finishing a marathon? Well, today we're diving deep into the science of how our bodies recover from all kinds of stress to figure out what really, truly works.
All right, so let's kick things off with something you've definitely seen all over your social media feed, the ice bath. I mean, from pro athletes to A-list celebrities, it feels like everyone is taking the plunge. But let's ask the real question, does it actually do anything? So what's the deal? Is it all just hype, or is there some real science behind the shiver?
Well, luckily for us, a huge meta-analysis back in 2023 gave us some pretty clear answers. And it turns out, yeah, after an ice bath, a couple of things happened. They found that levels of something called creatine kinase, that's a marker for muscle damage, they went down. So did lactate, what a lot of people call lactic acid. That's a great sign for feeling less sore. But, and this is a big but, it had no significant effect on key markers for inflammation, like C-reactive protein. So the story's a little more complicated. It helps with some things, but definitely not everything.
And this is where the science gets, well, a little tricky. The researchers themselves pointed out a massive challenge. I mean, think about it. How do you give someone a placebo ice bath? You can't, right? Participants know they're jumping into freezing water, which means the super powerful placebo effect, just believing something works, could be a huge factor here. And that tells us something really important. To truly understand recovery, we can't just get obsessed with one trendy technique. We've got to look at the master system that's actually running the show.
And that master switch, that control panel for your entire body, is your autonomic nervous system. It is silently managing your body's response to literally everything, from that killer workout to a really tough meeting at work. So if you want to get serious about recovery, you absolutely have to understand this system first.
So what is this thing exactly? Well, to put it simply, the ANS is the part of your nervous system that just works automatically. You don't have to think about it. It handles your heartbeat, your breathing, your digestion, all the stuff that just happens. It is the ultimate behind-the-scenes regulator that keeps your entire body in balance.
Okay, the easiest way to wrap your head around the ANS is to think of it like a car. It's got a gas pedal and a brake pedal. The gas pedal is your sympathetic system. That's your famous fight or flight response. It revs you up and prepares you for stress. The brake pedal is your parasympathetic system, the rest and digest mode. It's what slows you down so your body can repair and recover. Here's the thing. Peak performance isn't about just flooring the gas all the time. It's about having this perfect, beautiful balance between the two.
Okay, so if it's all about balance, how do we actually measure it? Well, the best tool we have right now is called heart rate variability, or HRV. Now, this is super important. This is not your pulse or your heart rate. It's the tiny millisecond variations in time between each of your heartbeats. In general, a high HRV is a great sign. It means your rest and digest brake pedal is working well. You're recovered and ready to perform. A low HRV, on the other hand, is like a warning light on your dashboard, signaling stress or fatigue. It is the most reliable window we have into our body's real state of readiness.
So that's the ideal. But what happens when that balance completely breaks down? What happens when that fight or flight gas pedal gets stuck to the floor? Not for a few minutes, but for weeks or even months on end. Well, that's when your body hits a breaking point. For athletes, this is called overtraining syndrome. And look, we're not just talking about feeling a little sore. This is a real, legitimate medical condition. It's caused by way too much exercise and not nearly enough rest. The symptoms are all-encompassing. You've got persistent muscle pain, a sudden and frustrating drop in performance, mood changes like being irritable all the time, constant fatigue, terrible sleep, and even a higher resting heart rate. Your body is basically stuck in a permanent state of high alert.
Okay, now let's swap out the gym for the office. See if any of this sounds familiar. Feeling totally removed from your work, having no energy, can't focus, losing patience with your coworkers, this is job burnout. And it is, for all intents and purposes, the professional's version of overtraining. The stressors are just different, deadlines instead of deadlifts, but the toll it takes on your body is remarkably and scarily similar.
And this, right here, is the absolute key to all of this. Overtraining in an athlete and burnout in a professional, they aren't different problems. They are literally two faces of the exact same coin. It's a chronically imbalanced nervous system. It doesn't matter if the stress is physical or mental. The end result is that the body's master switch gets stuck in the on position, and it never gets the signal it desperately needs to recover.
So if the root problem is the same, guess what? The foundational solution is also the same.
And it's not about expensive, trendy biohacks or super complicated protocols. Nope. It's about getting back to the absolute basics that allow our nervous system to find its balance again.
There's this quote from physical therapist Jessica Yeaton that just nails it. You can put in all the work, all the effort in the world, but if your body doesn't have the time and the resources to adapt and repair, all that effort is essentially wasted. The gains, whether we're talking about fitness, creativity, or productivity, they happen during the recovery, not during the work itself.
And the absolute bedrock, the foundation of all recovery, starts with one simple thing: sleep. And just to see how seriously we should be taking this, look at this number: 9 hours. That is the minimum amount of sleep recommended for adolescents. Most of them get way less, creating this chronic stress on their still developing nervous systems. And yeah, for adults, it might be closer to 7 or 8 hours, but the principle is exactly the same. Sleep is completely non-negotiable.
And the price you pay for skipping out on sleep, it is huge. It creates this massive negative domino effect. We're not just talking about your physical endurance. Poor sleep tanks your decision-making. It messes with your mood, it weakens your immune system, and it even screws with your metabolism and appetite. To put it simply, not getting enough sleep hits every single system in your body.
Okay, so we get the problem. But knowing is one thing, doing is another. So let's get super practical. It's time to build a recovery toolkit that you can actually start using today.
So here it is, your 5-step action plan. Super simple. First, prioritize sleep. Treat it like an appointment you cannot miss. Make your room cool, dark, and screen-free. Second, schedule real rest. And this isn't just working less. I'm talking about scheduling time to do absolutely nothing and not feeling guilty about it. Third, try active recovery. A gentle walk after a crazy day can be way more restorative than just collapsing on the couch. Fourth, seek support. Burnout loves to grow in isolation, so talking about your stress is a huge step. And finally, focus on your fuel. You wouldn't expect a car to run on empty. Don't expect your body to repair itself without the right nutrition.
So I want to leave you with one final question to think about. We are all so intentional with our effort, right? We plan our workouts, we map out our big projects, we schedule our busy days down to the minute. But are you putting that same level of intention into your recovery? Because as all the science clearly shows us, one is just useless without the other.